Let's do it. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our August. Oh, it's hard to say August, time's going so fast. August 15th, 2024, regular school board meeting. We have some special guests today that we'll see in a bit, but I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome Cooley Ranch Elementary School here today, and parents, students, family members, and welcome here. We also are going to get the presence of Slover Mountain, and we're also going to get an excellent speaker that'll be talking to us shortly. Okay, with that, just want to say that this is our regular board meeting for Cone Joint Unified School District, and at this time, let's get it started, and I will ask Joanne to please call roll.
Dan Flores. Bernice Sandoval.
Present.
Israel Fuentes. Present. Bertha Flores.
Present.
Pat Haro. Present. Frankie Barra.
Present. Thank you, Joanne. With that, we do have an interpreter, Ms. Bueno, who is available for speaking Spanish-speaking persons who are in need of assistance.
Muy buenas noches a todos. Yo soy Cintia Bueno, soy recepcionista y traductora del distrito. Esta noche estaremos ofreciendo servicios de intérprete. Si alguien desea escuchar la reunión completamente en español simultáneamente, puede encontrarme en la mesa trasera, donde pueden adquirir los dispositivos. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'd like to please ask everyone to please rise so we could salute the flag. And I'd like to ask our superintendent, Dr. Miranda, to lead us, please.
Please put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, and everyone can please be seated. At this time, we will go through the agenda. We're looking at 1.3, which is the adoption of August 15, 2024 agenda. And there are some additions to the agenda. Addition of 5 certificated coaches, head junior varsity coach soccer boys, head varsity soccer boys, head varsity soccer girls, head varsity softball girls, head varsity track co-ed. In addition to 2 certificated regular staff, teachers. Addition of 7 classified coaches, basketball assistant boys, head junior varsity wrestling boys, head varsity basketball boys, head varsity basketball girls, head varsity football spring boys, head varsity soccer boys, head varsity wrestling boys. Addition of 5 volunteer coaches, band co-ed, football boys 3, volleyball girls. Addition of 1 volunteer, field work placement. At this time, I would entertain the motion for approval of our agenda, please.
I'll move that.
Thank you. Thank you, Israel, and thank you, Pat. So on a motion by Board Member Israel Fuentes and second by Board Member Pat Haro to adopt the agenda as recommended, All those in favor indicate by stating aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions? Okay, we're looking at a 6-0 vote. We do have one board member absent. That's Joanne Thorin Ojeda. So on a motion by Israel Fuentes, second by board member Pat Harrow, and on a 6-0 vote with Joanne Thorin Ojeda absent, the board adopted the agenda as recommended. Thank you. Item 2.1, which is the Slover Mountain High School. And I'd like to invite Principal Frejo to the podium, please.
Good evening. Good evening, Board President Ibarra, Board Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. Tonight we have Slover in the house. Woo woo.
Yay!
Hello. Hello. Better? All right, so the district theme this year is Swinging for Success. So Slover chose for our year, Knocking It Out of the Park. So, let's see. There we go. So batter up presenting this evening. We have Adrian, Mariah, and Julissa.
All right.
Good evening, board presidents. Okay. Board member, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. My name is Adrian Villegas. I am a senior at Slover Mountain High School.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mariah Quintor. I'm a senior at Slover High School.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Julissa Diaz, and I'm a junior at Slover High School.
We would like to share some of our academic accomplishments since our last showcase. Mini quarter 4, we had some very special guests that attended. Superintendent Dr. Frank Miranda, board member Israel Fuentes, and Mr. Joe Baca Jr., 5th District Supervisor. They all offer words of inspiration to our students and families. We had 3 students who got perfect attendance awards, 31 students who got Student of the Month, 28 students got honor roll, 19 students got Principal's honor roll. We will also like to celebrate our mini quarter 5 awards. We had 26 students get Student of the Month, 43 students get honor roll, and 33 students get Principal's honor roll. We also celebrated our pencil, pen, and brush art writing winners. We have 4 students who placed in first place in 4 different categories, and we had 3 students who placed in second place in 3 different categories.
Slover hosted our annual College and Career Fair. We had many opportunities to visit different colleges, armed forces, and unions. We also had San Bernardino Valley College host financial aid workshops in English and Spanish for students and parents. Slover students got to attend the SBVC Black Education Excellence Summit and take guided tours of the campus and attend workshops that introduce resources available to attend. Slover scholars also attended San Bernardino Government Day and observed a live board meeting and also got to speak to local representatives in regards to what local government can do for us all.
Slover has an awesome ROP child development program. Bloomington Head Start, ROP, and ASB work together to host events like our spring event. We work with the Head Start to help them color eggs. At the literacy gardening event, we read books in the library, then walked them out to the garden to show them different types of fruits and vegetables growing. We also got to help them celebrate the promotion ceremony. We did a lot of singing with them. Slover had 9 students who received their ROP Child Development Certificate. Now they could go apply for their permit to work in daycare centers. Shout out to Ms. Hernandez.
Slover hosted the annual Spring Wellness Fair. We had CJUSD mental health interns along with community outreach members join the fair. We host 2 per year, one in the fall and one in the spring for students to receive information on mental health and awareness. These are great resources for our students.
Athletics. Slover hosted the Inland Empire Alternative School League and second annual 5K run. Our soccer team went undefeated for the second time in a room at Inland Empire Alternative League champions. As here you can see a photo of our soccer team for a second year in a row winning the Champions League.
We also wanted to recognize and share our congratulations to our very own District Safety Officer, Mr. Martinez, for being recognized for his many years of service to our community as a sheriff at the City of Colton meetings. Slover students also received honorable mentions for various art pieces at a third-place medal at the California Continuation Education Association Plus Conference.
Farewell to our seniors. Slover had many events as we said farewell to our seniors. With the kind donation of the Colton Conquistadors, we were able to give away 12 grad night Universal Studios tickets. Seniors got the chance to visit the middle school and elementary schools they attended. Seniors also had SPVC Senior Day, senior breakfast, graduation practice, and graduation ceremony. Class of 2024 Slover graduates. Huge shout out to our class of 2024 Slover graduates. Thank you to Colton High School for hosting our graduation. Slover was able to give out 12 scholarships, and it definitely was a night to remember for our graduates and families.
During the summer, Slover got some beautiful new curb appeal. Our front of our school has our gold PBIS medal, model school medal, and we got cougars along the front windows. Our portable classrooms also got window coverings. The PE area also got privacy wind blockers.
Our first day of school, Slover staff sprinkled us with kindness. They gave us the blue carpet treatment as well as we walked down. Slover staff greeted us with lots of love as they also played music.
Please follow us on our social media pages, and you can see all of the events happening at Slover. Thank you. May we answer any questions, or would you like to give us any feedback?
Thank you very much. Excellent job, all three of you. Yes, let's give
Thank
them
you.
a round of applause. As we all know, it's not easy to get in front of people and speak, and all three of you did an excellent job of doing that. So continue doing it. The practice will always pay off in the long run. Any questions? I'll start off there. Yes.
Thank you, Board President.
Yes.
Just wanted to congratulate each and every one of you, Adrian, Mariah, and Julissa. You guys did a great job, like the board President said. And a lot of great, exciting things happening at Slover, where you can't spell Slover without love. You know that. So there's a lot of love out there. I also wanted to congratulate Mr. Martinez, which is my former sergeant when I was at the sheriff out of Fontana. He was my sergeant there. Mr. Martinez, can you stand up? I want everybody to know who you are. There he is. Yeah. And I want to congratulate you for your services also to our district now. I know he's one of our safety officers in our district right now, and he's doing a great job out at Slover Mountain. But he will always be my sergeant. My sergeant, I will always call him Sergeant Martinez because he was very, very vital to me when I was there at the Fontana Sheriff's Station. And to each and every one of you, you were a senior, right, Adrian? How about you ladies? Senior? Junior? So to our seniors, keep doing what you're doing this year. It's almost over, but the next chapter of your life is coming up. So continue to stay in school. And for you, Mariah, te quedan un poquito más. Just keep going, keep doing what you're doing. All three of you are doing such an awesome job. And I'll see you soon there at the school. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Very good. Any other board members? Yes.
All right, thank you. First of all, I want to congratulate you.
Oh.
We're excited to say
Yeah.
hello.
We have lots to say still.
Oh, yes, yes.
First of all, I want to congratulate you for the excellent presentation today. Also, congratulations for the certificates for child development. That's awesome. That is awesome. Congratulations to all the students who received it. Slover Mountain is a great place for kids. And I just want to thank the principal. I want to thank the counselors, the teachers, the staff for really embracing the students and offering them what they need. Also, the safety officers, especially Mr. Mark Martinez, who I feel like we are so blessed to have you, with us at Colton, in our district. I mean, after retiring from the sheriffs, and having you choose Colton, choose Slover, I think it's awesome, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you do for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Bertha. Any other board members? Pat? No, okay. Just one final thing. Over the years, I've seen Slover grow. The culture has grown. The culture has grown to the point where students are comfortable, feel safe, are learning, have expanded their programs, what they have to offer to students. Look at all the athletics. Look at everything that you do there and have offerings. So students want to come to Slover. They thrive in Slover. And that's a testament to you as student leaders, to our administration, our principals, our teachers, those who are there at Slover Mountain. So I just want to say thank you for the hard work that you've done and you're going to do throughout this course of this year, because Slover is like, it's a very important school for us. And I mean, we can't say enough of what the accomplishments have come from individuals who have graduated from Slover. I'll just give you one example. Pat Haro, Israel Fuentes, and myself are on the Con Reynolds Yucaipa ROP. And what we've been pushing for all these years is to start bringing ROP to Slover. And when you mentioned that there were 8 certificates that were given out, we actually have students leaving Slover not only with a diploma, but a certification that allows them to look for employment, which is impressive. And if we get our opportunity, we'll see if we can bring in some more courses. This way that you can get the utmost out of your experience there and those who follow after you. So I just want to say thank you. There's 2 things I would like to do. First, ask you to come and shake our hands. That's 1. 2, I'd like for us to, as a board, take a picture with these 3 young students so that we have a portrait, a picture, so that the principal could put it up there in Slover to show your day here at the Board of Education.
Let's go.
Okay?
Thank you.
Just want to say that these 3 young students, this experience will highlight part of their school year. And there's nothing better for us to be able to capture this highlight as a photograph so that they can see that and others can come and see what you've accomplished here today. All right. Now let's move on to 3.1, Cooley Ranch Kindness Ambassadors. Yes. And I'd like to invite our principal to the podium, Veronica Gondanez.
Good evening, Board President Ibarra, board members and Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. It is a privilege to be here tonight to share with you incredible work happening at Cooley Ranch Elementary. As a principal, it is truly exciting to create opportunities where our scholars can express themselves and showcase their talents. Tonight, it is with great pleasure that I introduce our phenomenal Kindness Ambassador mentors, Mrs. Torres and Mrs. Ochoa. These dedicated educators have taken the lead in guiding our students through a transformative learning journey, inspiring them to embody and spread kindness throughout our school community. Come on up.
All right, Nina.
On up. It is such a pleasure to be here. I am so excited tonight because I have exciting students and parents. So with that, let me start. Good evening, Board President Ibarra, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. I couldn't be more proud of these students and this club that you have created. Our very first president is even here in the audience when we started it in 2020. He is now in high school. Sophomore? He's a sophomore in high school, and he is present. Mr. Ezra, if you could stand up, please. Our very first president. This has been a journey like no other. I think the kids created this on their own. It is a program where we not only teach kindness, but we teach leadership. Not only do we teach it, we show them and we take them to the community where they shine. I had to make a list because I can't believe how many things you kids have done. And I just want to point out, if you're a Kindness Ambassador parent, can you please stand up? Go ahead, parents, stand up. This is the kind. This is the kind of support that makes Kindness Ambassador program work, because when we take them, kids think we go to field trips. We don't. We go on community activities that the parents take the kids, stay there, and are involved as well. We could not do it without these parents. Let's give them a round of applause. If you are a 7th grader now in middle school, but you're here tonight to see your video, please stand up. If you are a returning Kindness Ambassador to the program, please stand up. Returning, if you were in it last year or the year before, please stand up. There you go. Stay standing. If you are a Kindness Ambassador for the first time and you just got chosen, please stand up. So it goes on and on. And tonight you're going to hear one of our students that has been in Kindness Ambassadors for 3 years. Some of the things, like I said, I had to make a list, and I'm so excited, and parents, you could vouch for me too. They do Student of the Month assemblies every month. They do our PBIS kickoff. Oh yeah, we have our kids do it. They are the welcoming committee. When we have new students, our Kindness Ambassadors are there to show them the way. They do motivational test prep assemblies. That's right, don't be scared, just do your best. And they are there to cheer their fellow peers on. They also have performed twice at the LA County Fair, where they have performed their rap about kindness. And they performed at San Bernardino County Festival, at the Courts Block Party. They were recognized by the City of San Bernardino Council. They were recognized by Colton City Council. And they are involved in multicultural celebrations all year long to help every kid celebrate each other and embrace diversity. And these kids are so excited to celebrate themselves when it's their turn and their culture. And now, thanks to a very special friend and a very special program, we are now professional performers. And we even involved everybody, and this shows the power of community is our parents. I'm gonna put the spotlight on some of you. Mr. Fabian, our custodian, if you could stand up. The kids. And Mr. Torres, I mean, you know he's always pulled into everything because he's my husband. And last but not least, these are the kids. They asked for Mr. Fabian, and just a heart that like everybody on our campus matters. Every staff members, everybody. And when the kids said, can you be in it? Sure. I was like, yes. So we can't wait for you to see it. And like this year, because of Ms. Godinez, thank you, Principal Godinez, for your support that allows this to happen. Are you ready? 4 board members are in this video. The kids call them to action. So board member Pat Haro is in it. We have President Mr. Ibarra is in it. We have board member Flores in it. And we have board member Fuentes. And oh, she's going to speak. Yeah, no, I know about her. Okay. So just the kids to call these people out and for all of you to take, and all of you, every single one of you. I don't know if you remember, but you guys were there the very first Kindness Ambassador online. Every single one of you came. So thank you for starting this with the kids. But don't listen to me. Just want you to know these kids haven't seen this video yet. It's going to be premiered. This is the first time we're all seeing it. Of course, I had to see it just because I had to make sure everything was good, right? My throat's a little sore because we have just been talking about kindness all day. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to welcome, you don't want to hear from me. Let's hear from the kids. Come on, Miss Viviana Montes.
Hello, my name is Viviana Montes. I'm in the 6th grade, and this is my story. The Kindness Ambassadors is an after-school program to learn about kindness and leadership. What the Kindness Ambassadors means to me is to learn about being leaders and to help spread kindness in not only school but at home and the community too. It was like a dream to make the music video. It helped us learn teamwork and taught us to express our feelings about being kind. I hope that when each person sees the music video, thousands will be encouraged to spread kindness just as if it was confetti. I hope that by the end of the video, it will encourage people to spread kindness. I really hope that kids my age will see this video and want to follow and make a change in their school too.
And now a few words from the program that made it happen, the CEO, Mr. Edwin Johnson from Chords. Let's give him a big round of applause.
How's everybody doing today? Appreciate y'all having us out. We're a program that operates in San Bernardino County. It's been a pleasure and an honor to work with the Kindness Ambassadors over 3 years now, LA County Fair. You know, they always come out when we want them to perform. My staff come in and, you know, help them with their presentation and their delivery. And so I hope you guys enjoy this video. We have more to come. And so I just want to thank Mrs. Torres and the rest of the Cooley Elementary staff for having me. The board, thank you. Superintendent Israel, my man right there. And so hope y'all enjoy this video.
Kindness is free. Kindness is our philosophy. Kindness is everything. We are a team. Kindness goes around like a sunbeam. Spread your kindness like confetti. 1, 2, 3. Are you ready? We want you to know that you matter. Come join us with a kindness ladder. Give your friend a high five and join us spreading the kindness vibe. Include others when they're left out. Be their buddy. Kindness costs some money. If you see a bully, say not at me.
Parents are nice and teachers to be kind. Did I mention they're giving us their time? They are ready for our action. What is your reaction? Do a chore, help around the house. That's what kindness is all about. Be kind to your parents and don't you bug. Instead, just give your mom a hug. Try your best and do your share. Help your sister and your brother. Oh my gosh, don't forget your mother. Don't be sad, you could also talk to dad. Say hello to make someone glow.
Pick up trash and greet those you meet, even if you cross them on the golden street. Good morning, goodbye, please and thank you.
Use good manners. Oh my gosh, we could put that on a banner. You all need kindness, we need it here and there. Make a car, please think our cross guard. Pick up trash, faster than the flash. Then we can have a community bath. Lend a hand, make a kindness band.
First of all, I just want to say that was an excellent video. Excellent job by our students. And our director over there, I just want to say thank you for doing this and highlighting our Cooley Ranch Ambassador program so greatly. So thank you for that. One of the things that I'd like to say is that, sounds like I have an echo.
Turn off the microphone on the podium.
We have a lot to be thankful for. Sounds like I'm at the ballpark. Okay, let's see. Okay. And first of all, we have an individual in Nina Torres who has done an excellent job with this program. Definitely, you could see the heart that she has for our students. I met Nina when she first started, and she was associated with the sociology club. I remember that, and it grew. Her what she wanted to develop for our students, to give them opportunities to learn and to be able to take what they learn home and share it with not only their families but their communities, just makes them better persons. So I just want to say thank you so much to you. And all the parents who are here. Nothing happens without the parent support. You find that out. And that's a big, big indicator of how well your students will do when parents are involved. So I'd like to just say thank you to all the parents that are here for supporting your student and their education. With that, just want to see if any other board member, Israel.
First of all, awesome video. Thank you. Big Ed over there. Thank you. I look good, didn't I? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Kids, I just want to congratulate each and every one of you. You guys are in an amazing program, being the kindest ambassadors. I know other districts in our area, and they don't do that. So you guys should be proud of what you do every day, because Mrs. Nina Torres there, has taught you to be leaders in your community. And I'm hoping that as you grow up, like this young man over here that used to be part of that, is going to continue to be that leader. Learn from this. It's about having fun, yes, but it's about having responsibility. So I congratulate each and every one of you. I want to thank the parents also, because you're letting your child be part of this. And you are also the leader that's also helping them develop that leadership. So please continue to do what you're doing, parents. Échenle ganas, keep doing what you're doing. I'm very proud of you. When I met Ms. Torres a long time ago, Ms. Nina, I'll call Ms. Nina because that's how we are. Ms. Nina and I, when I met her, she was talking to me about doing the I Am and the ambassadors and all that. And if you know, it's an award-winning program too. It's the I Am program, the counseling program that happens at all the elementary schools. Which one? The empowerment. Thank you. I was going blank right now. They took too much hair off. So the empowerment program continues to be part of our elementary schools with our counselors, and it's an amazing program. I continue to go out to the junior highs also, the middle schools, and to see how our counselors are working. And this all started right here with Mrs. Nina right here. She brought that to the table. It got an award for being a great opportunity for our middle school kids, our elementary school kids, to be part of a leadership program. So again, the Ambassadors program I know is going to grow. It's going to become something big with the help of Cords and all the other programs that Mrs. Nina has brought to the table. It's going to be something big. And I'm pretty sure that the other districts, when they see this video, they're going to want something like this, because I'm going to make sure that video goes viral. Because why not?
Yes.
Let's do that.
All right.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening, everyone. Kids, congratulations. Thank you, Ms. Torres.
Yes. Bertha.
Yes, thank you. When I look out in the audience and I see the children and the parents, that just warms my heart. I love it. Actually, we do the pledge every at the beginning of every board meeting. Today was extra special because the voices of the children when they're doing the pledge was extra special. That was music to my ears. I just want to say that this program focuses on kindness and leadership. What a recipe for making this world a better place. It's, a given that I wish, that everybody would embrace in our community, in our country, in our world, would embrace this recipe, Ms. Nina. That would be awesome. So I just want to thank you and Principal Godinez for bringing the children and the parents here tonight. And I just looking forward to more participations. I have to tell you, when we did the video, I was handed a tiara, and so Ms. Haro and I were, and at first I put it on. It's like, I'm not worthy. But boy, I'm telling you, at the end of everything, I just yes, I owned it. Thank you. I'll go claim it. So thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you, Bertha. Pat.
Yes, I too want to thank Ms. Nina for everything she's done with this program. I know that when I first got on the board 16 years ago, you were over at Washington, and shortly after you left Washington, and I was like, oh, she's leaving. She was doing such great things with these kids who really need her. And so I was like kind of bummed. And then you went, and now and then you decided you're going to work with the little ones. And you have just done such a phenomenal job with this program. You and Virgie together, it's a team effort. Don't want to leave her out. And Ms. Godinez, you have come in and just embraced this program and let them do what they need to do to be successful. And as my colleague said, this world needs more kindness. We're in a bad place, and we need more kindness. And what better way to start than with our children? They are the future. And if they can teach us kindness and teach others kindness, then we will get through everything that we're going through. So I just wanted to say thank you to all three of you for what you're doing, and again, also to the parents, because we talk about parent involvement, and this is a prime example of why parent involvement is so important and why it works, because you are a part of your child's education. You don't take them to school and that's a school, they're the school's problem. You are involved in it, and your kids are better for it and will be better for it. So thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Okay, Bernice.
Awesome. I loved it, you guys. You guys were so great. When I was facing the flag, same thing Miss Bertha said, I wanted to say it. Your guys' voice were loud, and that's how we're supposed to always do our pledge of allegiance to the flag. You guys were so awesome, and thank you for doing for everything that you guys do. You guys are great. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Dan?
Again, I don't want to be left out. I have to say thank you for the amazing presentation program. And you know, it reminded me of something, talking about the power of kindness. There's a great commencement speech that you can find online by J.B. Pritzker. He's the governor of Illinois, and he spoke a couple of years back at Northwestern University's commencement. And he had wonderful themes throughout, but one of the themes he talked about is kindness, empathy, and compassion. And I encourage you to go online. You can Google it. It'll come up. It's absolutely worth a watch. But essentially, he says that, you know, when you look at cruelty and meanness and why people do that, he said, you know, it really goes back to the time when we were early man, if you would, when you encountered something that was different, that didn't look like you or act like you. It was a reaction of fear of the unknown that caused you to be cruel or mean to the other person that was different. It was a safety mechanism going way back, way, way back. And so over time, as we evolve as people and we become more intellectual and educated and empathetic and compassion, those folks are more evolved, essentially, he says. And I think that's important to keep in mind nowadays when, unfortunately, there's lots of adults out there that we see on television and in politics that are choosing to be cruel and call names and choose that ugly path. But keep in mind that those that are compassion, that are empathetic, and that are kind, oftentimes, as he says, and in fact, I'll tell you exactly what he says. He says that in his many years of politics and business, he has found one thing to be universally true. The kindest person in the room is often the smartest person in the room. And I think there's a lot of truth to that, to not needing to judge others, to not needing to fear others simply because they're different, or they may look different or act different or believe something different. And know that this conversation about kindness is not just about being nice, which is a wonderful thing, but it's about having this real understanding of what it means to be a good person in society today and in the future. So we really are laying a foundation for the kids that is going to hope do better than some of us that we're doing now, certainly, and we hope to evolve and do better. But I've always believed that kindness is not a weakness. In fact, it's a strength. It's easy to be mean. It's easy to say, I don't like that because it's different. It's difficult, but when you get to that place where you listen to others, you talk to others, and you seek to understand others, that's where we want our kids to be. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Nina, and everybody for participating in the program. Thank you.
Very well said. Very well said. With that, before you leave, we'd like to mark this day. So I would love to have all the students, instructors that are here, and parents who support these students to come up. Let's take a big picture so that we can put that out for posterity, for other students who walk in, they can see it. Other parents who come in can see it so that they could say, I want my child to be part of the Kindness Ambassadors. So if I can please ask Nina and staff to organize the students and ask the board. Or, well, let's see how this develops. Let them feel the will.
for kindness, kindness is free. Kindness is our philosophy. Kindness is everything, we are a team. Kindness goes around like a sunbeam. Spread your kindness like confetti. 1, 2, 3, are you ready? We want you to know that you matter. Come join us with a kindness ladder. Give your friend a high five and join us spreading the kindness vibe. Include others when they're left out. Be their buddy. Kindness costs some money. If you see a bully, say not at.
Parents are nice and teachers to be kind. Did I mention they're giving us their time? They are ready for our act. What is your reaction? Do a chore, help around the house. That's what kindness is all about. Be kind to your parents and don't you bug. Instead, just give your mom a hug. Try your best and do your share. Help your sister and your brother. Oh my gosh, don't forget your mother. Don't be sad, you could also talk to dad. Say hello to make someone glow.
Pick up trash and greet those you meet, even if you cross them on the golden street. Good morning, goodbye, please and thank you. Use good manners. Oh my gosh, we could put that on a banner. You all need kindness, you need here and there. Make a car, you think a cross guard. Pick up trash, faster than the flash. Then we can have a community bath. Lend a hand, make a kindness band.
Okay, let's go ahead and continue with our agenda. And we'll, I'm still,
You're doing the Vin Scully.
I'm doing. Can I try something? Today. I'm luckiest man on this face of this. Oh, didn't want. Try to do the old Lou Garrett speech. Okay. Public hearing 4.0. 4.1, which is the Cone Joint Unified School Districts, Sunshine for Association of Cone Educators, ACE. I hereby open the public hearing and ask if there's anyone that would like to come up and say any words or comments. Okay, not seeing anybody rush to the podium. I'll go ahead and hit the gavel and close the public hearing. We're going to move right into 5.1, which is our public comment. Board bylaws 9323 states that an individual speaker shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda items. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 15 minutes. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. The president may take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. Thank you, sir. First person, I'll take them in order. Ms. Lisa Villa.
Testing. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone in attendance. My name is Lisa Villa, and I reside in Colton. On August 1st, I started my 35th year here with the Colton School District. I have impacted hundreds of lives throughout my career here, regardless of the continuous harassment I received. I have decided to retire. I will be leaving in just a couple of weeks. It is sad because I didn't want to leave. I love helping my community, but I'm here to tell you straight from the horse's mouth why I chose to retire. That way there is no speculation or hearsay. I am unwillingly retiring because of the security manager and the supervisors and the leaders of this district and the constant harassment that was allowed to be given to me. Although I was unhappy with my recent transfer because I was clearly retaliated against, I had wanted to finish my last year in my Colton community. But I sucked it up and went to the new Bloomington campus. And on that day, some of the leaders of the district decided to come hang out at that site I was at, which included the security manager. I'm over here trying to move on and do my job, and it seemed like the security supervisor decided to come rub it in my face that I was transferred. That's the perception. One reason I feel that way is because my new coworkers were telling me, are all these big shots here because of you? While I was trying to connect with these students, new students, the security manager chose to interrupt that process. He proceeded to talk to me and question me in the middle of lunch and discuss the protocols of lunch and how it was ran and where the students are allowed to go and not go. I didn't know if I was being tested or if he literally didn't know how lunch was ran at that site, which is worse. He should know these things. He should know how every lunch is ran at every site in the whole district. He is the security supervisor. To make matters worse, he asked me how the lunch area was conducted last year. How would I know? I didn't work there last year. He should know every campus, like I said, like the back of his hand. Don't you think? He is clearly out of touch of what really goes on each of the campuses, but yet I'm the one that's harassed. Safety is not important to the security supervisor, and I can no longer be disrespected by the leaders of this district. I have my dignity and respect for myself. The security department is the most divided and ununited department in all of the district. This should alarm you when I'm publicly telling you I'm retiring because of the security management and the leaders that are allowed to constantly harass me. I feel sorry for the communities that you serve. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Second card, Edwin Delgado.
Good afternoon, Board President, Board members, and Superintendent Miranda. My name is Edwin Delgado, and I work for Supervisor Joe Baca Jr., and I'm here again, excited to introduce our second Youth Advisory Council cohort. Applications have opened, and there are 2 weeks left. We're excited. This council allows students to challenge themselves, learn new skills, and gain confidence by building relationships and collaborating with peers and community leaders. I know we saw Slover Mountain High, and we were able to bring them out to a government day, and government day gave them the ability to learn a little bit about what the county of San Bernardino offers, and that's what we do at the Youth Advisory Council at a larger level. And what's more exciting is that this year we're offering a scholarship for these students. So we are excited. The application's open until August 30th. We've sent applications to all our principals, and we look forward to seeing students from Colton Joint Unified School District participate in the Youth Advisory Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Delgado. Beatriz Garcia.
Good afternoon, board members and leaders of this district. Thank you for the time that you allowed me to come and talk. There's a saying in Spanish that says, los hombres no lloran. Well, I'm not a man, I'm a woman, so pardon my emotions. I am also a parent. Almost a year ago, I came to you guys and I asked you guys for help because my daughter was getting bullied by the teacher at a school. She was pulled out, she was in home hospital and completed the 3rd grade in home hospital. Now she is back in school and she's enjoying it for the most part. Every day that she's been in school, she has been getting bullied. My daughter is special. She is autistic. She has had 14 surgeries. And every day that she's been there in school, present, and she's had some days off due to her health and due to her mental stability, she has been getting bullied. I wish that you guys as a district, just as you guys have done for the general education population, would include the special education department and the special education students and allow them to partake of situations as such as the kindness ambassadors that you guys have just presented, or other programs that allow these students to shine as you guys allow the general education students to shine. It is unfair that students in your district that have special disabilities are not presented as the general education. They are also part of your district. They are also students that matter, or do they not matter to you guys? It's a question, it's a real question. You guys talk about empathy and sympathy, so what about them? Is there any of that for them? Does that not count for them? I wish that something like that would also be available for these students. I am fighting for my child. Every single day that I have to help her get to school, when she's picking her lips, when she's stimming, when there's things that are bothering her because she's had 14 surgeries in her face, when there's things that are deformed in her face that she has no control over. And yet still, there is no protection for her. A one-on-one aid was not allowed for her during school hours. And all these bullies just continue to take advantage of her kindness because she's very kind even with her disability. She still imparts a lot of kindness. So what about these children? What about the special education students? Do they not matter to you guys? There should be some type of programs that allow them to shine, just as you guys allow all these general education students to shine. They should also have some part of this wonderful program you guys call. I have looked at all your guys' archives for the last year, even the Student for Swing for Success videos. None of your special education students are presented. Why? Are they like at the bottom of the totem pole for you guys? It's unfair. Unfortunately, today my advocate is not here, my student advocate, because I didn't tell him I was coming, because I'm fed up. Today my daughter had a physical, and she told her doctor that the students played doctor with her, and they pinched her, pretending there were shots. So my daughter had to be pinched today by general students, and they were telling her that they were doctors and she was a patient. And I just have to sit back and send her to school under your guys' watch. I was told while on campus, you shouldn't have to worry. Well, you know what? This is a worried mother, a concerned mother. May I remind you of all the great people that are out there that are autistic? Mozart, Lionel Messi, Albert Einstein. I mean, the list goes on. These kids should matter just as your general education students.
If I may, Mrs. Garcia, or Miss Garcia, as you'll notice, we're not responding because that's the way public comment operates. But what I'd like to do, because we are concerned, we want to make sure that we take a closer look at what's happening and how things are happening. I'd like to refer you, and we have your name and number, to our superintendent, Dr. Miranda, so he could contact you so that you could have a meeting so that we could take a look at what we can do to make things better for you.
We have done that already.
Okay.
My student advocate
Okay.
and myself had already met with Dr. Miranda. I work closely with Dr. Ortiz, and I really appreciate all his efforts. He has done a lot for my daughter. He actually even allowed my daughter to have a third grade ceremony, which is not something that normally happens, but because he wanted to help her feel some kind of accomplishment, he did that. But yet still on school grounds, I understand that Dr. Ortiz only has control over certain matters, but on school grounds, these things are still happening. So what do you guys do for that? How do you guys help these students feel like they're a part of something?
Yeah, what we're going to do, and I'm going to request as president of the board, is to have a report done to the board, each board member, outlining the meetings that you've had, the discussions that took place, and what are some of the solutions that we could use to help improve the situation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming and sharing. So with the consensus of the board, I'd like to ask Dr. Miranda to follow up and with the board members on this incident as we get more information and see what we can do to assist the family and this student. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead. We're right at the action session, action items, 6.1 through 6.42. At this time, I would ask if anyone here would like a particular item pulled for separate consideration. Bertha.
Yeah, 6.20, please.
6.20. Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at 6.1 through 6.42 with the exception of 6.20. At this time, I would entertain a motion for approval, please.
I'll move. I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion by Bertha Flores and second by Iswell Fuentes to approve items 6.1 through 6.42 with the exception of 6.20. If there's no other questions, comments, or concerns, let's take the vote. All those in favor indicate aye. Aye. Anyone oppose? Anyone abstain? So we do have a 6-0 vote, Joanne, with Joanne Thorin Ojeda absent. So on a motion by Bertha Flores, second by Israel Fuentes, and carried on a 6-0 vote, the board approve action items 6.1 through 6.42. Now let's take a look at 6.20, which says approval of agreement with Leadership Associates, LLC for executive advisement services for the Assistant Superintendent Business Service Division during the 2024-25 school year. Any questions, comments, concerns? None? Okay. I'll entertain a motion for approval, please.
I'll move.
Okay, thank you, Israel.
I'll second.
Okay, so I do have a motion by Israel Fuentes, second by Bertha Flores, to approve the agreement with Leadership Associates for services for our Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. All those in favor indicate by stating aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? Now, if I heard it correctly, it's 5-1. It, 4-2? 5? You're a no too, so it's 4-2. Okay, with 2 no votes, 2 no votes being Pat Harrell and Bertha Flores. Okay. All right. Okay, we're gonna move right into administrative reports. Let's take a look at approval of disbursements, 7.1. If there's anything anybody has particular question, please stop me. 7.2, approval of change orders for Kona High School CTE Culinary Art Project per Board Resolution 2469. And now we're going to move into 7.3, facilities update. Director Chang.
All right. Good evening, Board President Barr, board members, Superintendent Miranda, member of the audience. We're happy to be here tonight to present the design update for the Zimmerman Elementary to the board. As the board may recall, last time we were here about 3 months ago, and we provided some brief overview. We didn't really have enough time to go in depth on the design, so we'd like to take tonight's opportunity to present a more detailed design for the board and answer any question that the board may have. Just, we also, since the last presentation, we made some good progress, which we'll also like to present to the board, and also want to make sure that answer any question the board may have and make sure we're on the right path and are consistent with some of the board's vision and goals. So I'd like to, at this time, turn over the podium to Brian Linner with DLR Architects. Just a quick note, some of the slides, we're going to have some renderings. So I printed out a hard copy for the board and superintendent to reference the floor plan, so sometimes it helps with the orientation, so get a better point of reference. So, all right, Brian, it's all yours.
Good evening, Board President Ibarra, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. Really excited to be here tonight. You guys are a fun group. I really love the presentations of the students and the way that you got such activism in your community. It's really a wonderful testimony to your community. So tonight I've been given, 30 minutes to talk through a lot of information. And fortunately tonight we've got some really exciting imagery for you. And I'm really pleased that you've got some printed copies because I don't want to spend too much time in the floor plans because I know that we've spent some time talking about that. I really want to talk about some of the bigger ideas behind a lot of the imagery and the floor plans to give you a deeper or richer understanding of what is driving the relationships of different spaces to one another and what those spaces are going to feel like and look like. Let's see if I can. All right. So as I move forward to the floor plan, we wanted to make sure that we left this campus organization plan in place so that you guys could see how the campus is aggregated around the idea of villages. So there's a lot of research into how the best models of education today are allowing children to gather in groups and small learning communities rather than larger groups to foster and promote a sense of identity either for grade levels or different focus groups depending on how you want to organize your campus. And so the purposeful organization of the campus is around the idea of villages and then to make sure that the organization allows for academics to be you'll see it on the lower portion of the plan. We've got villages 1 through 6. And then on the upper portion of the plan is the more community and socialization focused parts of the campus, which are oriented off of Santa Ana. And so the campus plan is a really rich plan that's based in big part on the idea of city planning. So you know, campuses today are like little mini cities. They've got learning spaces, they've got assembly spaces, food, there's administration, office, and they're also set up in zones and districts. And so there's a lot of really rich layering of campus planning that is organized in that fashion. One of the important features of the campus is also its orientation. We're in the process of doing airflow studies and some more advanced computational fluid dynamics analysis because of the concerns about environmental air quality, especially as the campus is in relationship to the pilot gas station with the trucks immediately due west of the campus. So that analysis is ongoing. It isn't complete yet, but some of the initial results are favorable. We've got some really great prevailing winds to work with. And so these exhibits are showing how we plan to use vegetation and mitigation measures to make sure that the campus itself is shaped in such a way to benefit the students in outdoor spaces so that they can be functional. That's an interesting pink. So the outdoor spaces themselves are, and this is not typically how the exhibit looks, although it's kind of retro 1980s. The outside spaces we want to make sure are kind of crafted around spaces that create vibrant opportunities for socialization to happen. So you'll see the lunch shelter is adjacent to the Civic Square and what we're considering more of a performance plaza space. And then there's a whole series of academic spaces that go between the buildings themselves that culminate in the growing gardens at the bottom of the campus. And then as we look at the interior of the campus, one of the things that I really love about campuses in school design today is that we carry this creed that every space should be a learning space, even the hallways, even the transition spaces between what we would consider the main spaces. So we look for opportunities for collaboration and learning and for small group learning in all sorts of different spots across the campus. So this, we call this an axonometric floor plan. It's a 3D view of the floor plan. We try to zone out those types of spaces in really meaningful ways. And so you can see on the bottom right of this diagram, it shows the different types of activities that could occur in elementary school. And it's really important to make sure that we're choreographing and providing those opportunities for those rich educational experiences. And studies show that having an abundance of these matched with robust curriculum really creates a rich educational experience for children. And so this is an example to show images and the types of activities that could be occurring in different portions of the campus. So this is rich educational planning. And then as we get into the look and feel of the campus, we start to weave together a lot of really important threads that have really defined what the campus is going to look like and how it's going to function. So as we consider back to the community outreach sessions that we had, the symposium, there were 4 key takeaways that we had when we talked about aesthetics and how the campus would look. It was flexibility, playfulness, natural, and sheltered were kind of the 4 main themes. And so you'll see that that idea of flexibility and natural spaces is also very much rooted into the community values. They talked a lot about the rich agricultural history of this region and this neighborhood. And even, the proposed Walter Zimmerman namesake, had his own roots with an orange orchard and his own agricultural roots in his business. So as we were thinking of a primary theme to kind of be the fundamental idea behind the campus, it really became this idea of an arbor sprout. Because of the rich agricultural history of the area, the inspiration of Walter Zimmerman, and also just the idea of children as growing sprouts themselves. And even if you go back to the original classrooms of like Socrates and Plato, they were always conducted under a tree in the outdoors. And so there's a rich history that I think kind of weaves together with the idea of looking at the campus and as the community as an arbor sprout. And so a lot of the ideas that you'll see to weave together the educational components are also looking at kind of these fundamental agricultural ideas of trees and how they could be applied and the connection with the outdoors. So you'll see a lot of the weaving of academic spaces with kind of an organic interior design, which also has strong ties with the outdoors, which really creates a rich experience for the children, both indoors and out. And then, of course, there is the cultural heritage of the Bloomington community. A lot of our interior design team became fixated on the idea of like the rebozo and these cultural patterns and colors and rich imagery that is consistent with the Latino community and culture. And so as we start to weave all of that together, combining that with the learning strategies, we start to create some really interesting spaces. So we're going to focus on the library for a moment. And so you can see with this image, it shows the library being zoned out for the purposes of flexibility. So in the bottom right, we've got an interactive, loud zone for students. And then in the top right, you can see kind of a quiet sensory space for students in the library. And then, of course, the stacks, which have kind of a serpentine, organic feel for the books that create little spaces for students to read or work in small groups, all with the easy supervision of the librarian and great natural daylighting and views. And so what does that look like? Well, we start to do kind of a loose interpretation of what are these agricultural ideas and these organic shapes as they come through. You can see an abundance of different types of educational experiences for the students, but you can also see that organic interior architecture despite the more structured approach to the building architecture as well. So there's a bunch of materials. I'm not going to get into detail on the different types of materials, but you've got them printed out, and you can look at how those express. And then looking from the opposite side, you can see the collaboration area in the foreground and instruction wall on the left. Tons of natural light, great ventilation, and it's just a great space that's fun for the students to experience. Now, when we talk about adjacency, immediately outside the library is a really exciting collaboration area, and this is kind of the main identity space. There's a bunch of classrooms that are kind of gathered around this collaboration space. So teachers can send students out to do small group learning, or it can be checked out by a classroom. There's multiple surfaces for improvised instructional learning, and students can do presentations. But it's also adjacent to the library and to the Flex Lab, which is a lot of fun. So looking at it from a different angle, that white surface is a writable whiteboard wall that kids can write down on their knees if they want to, or reach up high. The whole surface is writable. It's a lot of fun. The kids have a great time using those for working together in groups and brainstorming. And you can see in the back the Flex Lab, which can be used for art or sciences, and they all have an immediate connection to the outdoors as well. And then as we look at the notion of what does the classroom look like, we have 6 specific pairs of classrooms that have operable wall that you see kind of on the left of this image, so that team teaching can occur. And this is really important because sometimes teachers, when they do team teaching, they have the capacity to have a larger group for one teacher, maybe with more direct instruction. And then another teacher in that team teaching experience can take a smaller group, maybe for intervention, for reading, mathematics, and take them out into those collaboration areas. And it gives your teaching staff a lot of opportunity to collaborate and meet the needs of students in different ways. This is it with the door closed. It's a very conventional classroom space, but what's fun is that operable wall can also be a writing wall, providing a rich experience for the students in the classroom. So we're going to look at an aerial of so this is looking from above. You can start to see that campus organization. You can see the vegetation in the parking lot. That's that screening that we're trying to provide, and that white area to the top left is the pilot station. And so we're going to be screening and providing as much protection from the gas station as possible. And then you can see the organization of the campus around those outdoor spaces, Lots of vegetation, lots of organic shapes and experiences for the students. As we look at the main corner, we talked about in last presentation how the campus is kind of pivoted back and angled to create plazas so that your community can take advantage of outdoor spaces, have events. There's lots of shade for the drop-off, and there's also opportunities to do campus branding. There's an opportunity for mural and lots of fun geometric and colorful shapes that kind of tie in with the Rebozo idea and some of the coloring and texturing. This is a view of the drop-off from the south looking north, showing an extensive drop-off for queuing. It takes a lot of cars off the street, helps with the careful flow of cars without impacting the local communities too much, and lots of trees and foliage, and again, some fun color along the front of the campus as we move forward. This is the main entrance, and we're going to go inside in just one slide, but opportunity again for campus branding on the right, and some big fun signage, and potentially some perforated metal panel at the front to give some visual interest. As we come in, you see that young tree sprout has grown into a tree in the main lobby space, and this lobby is wonderful because it commands control of both the library, the NPR, and the main corridor going down and connecting to all the classrooms. So this will be a really vibrant space, but it's also secure. So while school is in session, all those front doors are locked, and there's only a single point of entry to get in through the adjacent lobby to the admin. So during school session, this is a completely secure space, and it allows interior circulation from most of the classrooms to the NPR, food service, and library. Again, looking at the library, this is the entrance from that lobby into the library and Learning Resource Center. And then as you pass through and look back, there's the collaboration area on the left. You can see that orange alcove is one of the classrooms, and there's going to be windows to allow for passive supervision by the teachers of those collaboration spaces. But that collaboration space can be used by the classrooms, it can be used by the librarian, or by the Flex Lab. It's a very versatile space. Again, here's that central collab, and then you can see the connection to the outdoors and outdoor patio, which we'll look at in a few moments on the right. This shows kind of the connection of that collab with the classrooms that extend down that corridor on the right. And there's going to be numerous different types of collaboration spaces. We'll see a few more different scales of collaboration and activities as you go through that hallway to provide a rich range of experiences for students and teachers to take advantage of. But as we went back out into the lobby and into the multipurpose room, this is the current design for the NPR, showing it packed out with students and activities, which I know you guys will do. The glass that you see on the right is all sheltered and shaded and allows for a big opening to open out into the lunch shelter. And it could also be a spillover space for performances and community events, which is really fun. As we go out through the lunch shelter into what we're calling the Civic Square, this is a large open plaza. You'll see on the left there's like an elevated stage, so you could do band performances or speaking engagements or even commencement ceremonies. Even for the elementary schools, they do that a lot these days. And so it's an opportunity to have a large group of people in the plaza with a great backdrop of the library and the lunch shelter and the NPR to support it. And again, all of this is on the public socialized side, the north end of the campus. You'll start to see as we go down around the corner, this is what we call the academic arcade. This is more the focused academic area. And you'll see on the right is the library, where that number 1 is at. And then where we show the number 4, that's actually the Flex Lab that has access to an outdoor patio. But you'll see these mounding organic shapes, and it isn't going to be just grass. We haven't modeled in all the plant materials, but the idea is to create more of a rich agricultural feel in this plaza and to have these spaces actually support outdoor learning. So as I mentioned, as you kind of turn back and look back, here's the resource center or the library on the right, the Flex Lab on the left, and in the middle is that that doorway that opens up to the indoor collaboration area. And this is going to be a very, very active space. You know, I would anticipate that between the activities of the library, the CoLab, and the Flex Lab, somebody's constantly going to be using this outdoor space. And you'll see that the roof actually extends out over the top, providing a comfortable environment, which is so key for the use of tablets and Chromebooks, things of that nature, because you need shade in order to use those devices. And then as you move a little bit further along, deeper into the academic arcade, there are features like seat walls where smaller groups of instruction can occur in the outdoors, where you might be able to talk about biology, trees, or things of that nature. And then as we get towards the end, there's a bunch of vegetation screens. You can see them titled number 3. Those are also going to help with air filtration. And then rather than having a dedicated garden, I think we mentioned this last time, we're having planters that can be either integrated into the landscape architecture of the campus and managed by district staff, or they can be adopted by classrooms or groups of classrooms to grow plants for campus or class activities. Again, here's another collaboration area. So you'll see this one's a little bit different with some built-in seating into the walls on the right, an instruction wall on the left, and it's close proximity to a classroom. But again, they have covered and shaded outdoor connections so that they can do messy activities outside. This is looking at the academic arcade from what we're calling the growing gardens, or the plaza at the very end, looking back towards the NPR and the lunch shelter. And the idea is to provide a whole series of natural experiences for the students at this end of the campus. This again is another village and indoor collaboration area. You can see some soft, flexible seating, large openings, again, a presentation wall, and some built-in seating around the perimeter of that to allow for students to work as groups and to provide some opportunities for collaboration. And then other spaces, the corridor is widened a little bit. You'll see it's done next to windows to allow for teachers to be able to passively supervise the students, because there's nothing worse than having a collaboration area that a teacher can't keep eyes on. If I were a teacher, I would not want to send my kids out there because I'd have no idea what they're doing. So the idea is always to provide windows and opportunities for passive supervision, even for little alcoves like this where small groups can happen. But of course, you know, furniture is up to your team, so you can furnish it with soft seating, couches, sofas. We've seen an abundance of different ways to address those spaces. And then again, here's classrooms with a couple of different configurations and flexible furniture. So you can see the rich shading, the rebozo, colored fins and screen walls that we've got outside the windows there, the instructional surfaces on the right, but then we can also reconfigure the space with different types of furniture and arrangements to allow for flexibility and learning. And then lastly, we're turning the corner looking at the kinder zone. And you know, I recently had a kindergarten student just a couple years ago, and you know, the drop-off was always a challenge with kinder, and we're doing a drop-off here. And I'm really excited because one of the main features as a parent is you want to see, if you're going to drop your kinder student off, you want to see them enter the playground. Because if you can't, you're not going to drop them off, you're going to walk them up. Fortunately, with this design, we can. You can drop them off at the end, and you can watch them enter that secure line of the playground. And so we're really excited that this is going to be a functional drop-off for you. And it's fun because it gives them a sense of entry and importance at the end as well. And you'll actually see a bunch of openings that we've got in different scales and different heights. So there'll be some windows down low for the kids that are younger to be able to see out into the play area. And they're all based on geometry, basic geometry, circles, triangles, squares. It's very playful, very fun. And then here's a view into your courtyard for both the kinder and the TK program. There will be fenced-in small divisions of the playground areas, and we're working with your team to come up with playground that's functional and consistent with the rest of your campuses, but of course, lots of shade. All right. So that's the end of my formal presentation. This is a QR code for downloading the presentation, so if anybody wants to see that in more detail, you can download it there. And with that, any questions?
Thank you, sir, for the report. Do we have any questions from the board? Okay, start, Bertha.
Yes, thank you for the presentation, and thank you for these, because you can take a close look at the pictures. So I had a question about your classrooms. Will they have windows?
Yes, all the classrooms will have windows.
Will they'll be, okay.
Lots of windows.
All of them have lots of windows?
All of them will have lots of windows.
Perfect, okay. And I really like the kinder drop-off idea where the parents can see the kids walk in. I think that's very, very important, and I'm sure it'll be appreciated by the parents. The other question I had is, as I'm going through, I'm thinking of our students with special needs. You know, I know I'm sure it'll meet ADA, but I guess what I would like to see is that they're not an afterthought, that they are, you know, that as we design this new school, we have them front and center, making sure we meet their needs. So that, you know, that's what I would love to see, is that, you know, that the kids, that our students with special needs, you know, have the right equipment, the right seating, the right, you know, playground equipment. So that.
So you just want me to elaborate a little bit more on the special ed? Or?
If you can.
Sure. So in this diagram, you can see, actually, maybe I should go to the main floor plan. There's actually a spot right where it says Village 3. You know, the special ed program is really important, and it's got a bunch of adjacencies that it needs to have in order for it to function well. As you touched on, it definitely needs the appropriate supporting spaces. It needs, you know, additional storage. It needs a toilet room and a changing room, and oftentimes an office, things of that nature. And so there are specific standards that I know your district has, and also the state has, in order to be compliant with Title V. So all of those are going to be a part of the special ed program. The other is we have to be able to provide the potential for its own access off of the street if there's needs for busing. And so we've actually positioned it that there's a pair of classrooms with supporting spaces, and I can't point, I think, unfortunately. But it basically is positioned right at the front of the campus, and our goal is actually to integrate them into the rest of the classrooms so they don't feel like they're off to the side or in the back or forgotten. It's important to make them feel like in the middle of the community, as a part of the community. And so the location that we've got them located right in Village 3 is like right in the hustle and bustle of the rest of the campus, but it has the advantage of having access to the drop-off with their own dedicated bus access. Here, Owen's pointing out a slide that we can see. So, this one. So this is the main drop-off, and you can see there's like a little doorway right there, right to the right of all those colorful fins, and that would be its own dedicated access that would be focused for just the special ed folks to come off the drop-off area. Now, as far as like specific playground features, it's possible to include that. We haven't really talked about that in the playground design, but they do have accessible swings and playground features that are really fun that everybody can use, actually. My kids have used accessible playground swings and things. It's they're sized for everybody. But those can certainly be included.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One last question. On the first slide, I didn't realize that you were able to, is that an exit to Cedar?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't aware you were able to do that. I think that would help with the flow of traffic, huh?
Would help a lot. Yeah, which is why we're doing it. So The access to Cedar is, there's a little roundabout, and it will, we've got in our discussions with the county, they don't want to allow a traffic light there, but they are going to allow a right turn in from northbound traffic and a right turn out, for traffic to go northbound from the campus. So it's going to be great to give parents multiple opportunities to get off of the campus, and it should help with traffic and queuing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bertha. Pat?
Okay. I know that when this was started, we had community meetings with the community, and we had meetings with the teachers as far as what they were looking for in the new campus, and we had their input. I'm curious if you have a percentage of what we are looking at versus what they asked for is included. Because well, first, I guess that question, I'm curious as to how much we included into what they were looking for.
As far as like what their requests have been from the community?
Yeah, you know, like what, because I'll be honest, I'm looking at this, and I know we have principals in the audience who were like, yeah, no, okay. And so there's a lot of these central collab and village collab and village collab, and then there's there's a whole bunch of those open spaces.
Yes.
Honestly, I don't see those really being used, that many of those being utilized like that, like your pictures. And I don't see teachers, and correct me, nod your head, no. I mean, that I don't see those being functional spaces and being used. I don't see a teacher putting their kids outside and they're watching them through a window. That doesn't seem functional to me. And these, I could see maybe one, but all of these outdoor, I don't know, no, not outdoor, but indoor, but out of a classroom areas, I can't see our teachers saying, yeah, let's do that. That looks like a great idea to go teach outside of the classroom on a wall. And then like next to it, there's another collab station and another teacher is teaching, because this is an elementary school. Kids are loud. And I don't care what you have them, to be quiet. They're not, this doesn't seem functional. I mean, just my opinion. I can't see. And while I like that the kinder has a separate area and our special ed kids, because I know many sites I've been to, special ed is, and like our guest said, that sometimes that they are forgotten and they are put in a certain part of the campus that it's not, they need to be part of the group. So I do like that. However, that area looks so sterile. I mean, it doesn't look kid-friendly. I'm just, I speak my opinion, but I don't think all of these collab areas are gonna be functional spaces. I don't see them being used for what you're showing that many on here.
So to answer your first question, though, about how much we've included from the community outreach process, just about all the comments, we try to find a way to reconcile the consensus that was built about the campus organization and how the campus is run into this, because it's not our campus, it's your campus, and we definitely want to respect and honor the wishes of your community and your staff. We have presented to the staff, and they have appreciated. We haven't received many negative comments that I know of in the presentations that we've given to the existing campus, and we've met with Cynthia, the principal, a number of times as well, and we've gotten her input as well. We've also met with your fantastic administration and your team, and had numerous conversations about the types of spaces. As far as your concern about the collaboration areas, the way I typically respond to that is, we talk about, and I mentioned the creed, that every space is a learning space. If you didn't use those collaboration areas, you would still have them for internal circulation, because you have corridors, you have entry points into the building. So you're going to have some spaces, and if you choose not to use them, they'll still work as entryways and corridors. But in our minds, it's an opportunity to take advantage of those types of spaces and give them an additional layer of use and meaning. So if you choose not to use them, it will function like a traditional elementary school, and you don't have to furnish it. And we could, remove some of the ceiling treatments and things and not play that up as much. But it is a rich opportunity to take advantage of every space that you have in your campus and put it to use. And so that's our intent, is to create as much value for you as possible. And again, we are working with your team to get these types of spaces, because our understanding is that you want to make this a magnet school, something that's forward-thinking and incorporates the best that the philosophy of education in the future has to offer. And so that's what we're designing with your team, and that's what we've been commissioned to do. Did that help a little bit?
But thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Pat? No. Okay, thank you, Pat. Any other board members? Just want to, Israel? Okay. Okay.
There's going to be a beautiful front to the school as I'm looking at the entrance. On the main road, Santa Ana and Larch, will we have something that states that's the school, some beautiful sign or something that, because we have a beautiful entry, but it's in between the school and the pilot. And we have this beautiful entry that says Zimmerman Elementary, but there's nothing for anybody else to see other than the people that drop off their kids or anyone that shows up through the school. I'd like to see something on Larch or Santa Ana that says, this is our school, be proud of the school. So, because the entry looks beautiful, but there's nothing that really, on the outside, see, all I see is trees and a parking lot. And I'd love to see something that states, even if it's lit up, I always forget the name of that, those signs, that says, Zimmerman Elementary and whatever activities are going on, because I want our community to be proud of the school. I want our community to own the school. And if all we see is trees and a fence on Larch, and all we see is trees and a fence on Santa Ana and another little parking drop-off area, and there's nothing that states this is Zimmerman Elementary, well, we're kind of missing out. And then the Cedar, on that property we own, are we going to make a road there? Like an access road to the school, or how's that going to work?
Yes, the access road will continue all the way down to Cedar at the cul-de-sac, so it'll continue all the way down to Cedar, so we'll have not only a drive aisle, but also a sidewalk for students that are walking to school, a safe route to use.
Going through that access road too, we'll have a little sidewalk there for them to walk on, and right now, okay.
Yes,
Then on
that's correct.
Santa Ana, there'll be another entry area from Santa Ana?
Yes,
A
there
little
will be
entry up here?
entry, yes. from Santa Ana
Okay.
as well.
It's just, one of my concerns is, and I've been in the Bloomington area for about 15 years, and at that time of the morning, it's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of traffic. I mean, a lot of traffic from Cedar. And if there's a way for us to control the trucks on Santa Ana, that's fine, but we really need to study that a little more and see how we can work that better. To me, I'd like to see an entry from Larch into that parking lot, if there was a way to do that. I know it's taken away a little bit from the stuff there, but I think less traffic on Larch than there is on Cedar. And when parents are exiting onto Cedar and there's only a right turn, there's going to be some congestion there, and it might hold up all the traffic into our parking lot. Because depending on how big the parking lot is, we probably could fit, 30 cars maybe there in a row? So we need to study that. If there's a way to study that, look at that a little closer, I'd love to see that study a little bit more because of traffic. And the reason I say that, because I also patrolled the area. I was a police officer in the area. So I know that the traffic, the way it is now, with some of the logistic warehousing that's coming to town, there's a lot of construction going on currently. And I know the school probably won't open until 2028 or something, but we need to look at that because things are going to change in the next couple of years. We have a new business park coming to town. You guys know about that. But we need to look at the traffic on Cedar. It's getting a little worse than it was. They're working on the bridge. The bridge is going to get bigger. There's going to be more traffic going through there. So if we can study that a little bit, or maybe find a way to get it from Larch into the parking lot, maybe another idea. But other than that, I think my colleagues have already gave you the questions that we've been looking for. Thank you.
If I may address something.
Yes.
The question raised, in terms of the traffic, we actually are working very closely with the county in terms of traffic circulation, egress, ingress, exiting, and so forth. And we, in addition to that, as part of the requirement, we have to do our own CEQA analysis. So we have hired our traffic consultant analysis. So we've been talking for several months, and part of some of the solution is result of the conversation in looking at traffic flow, traffic counts, and so forth, circulation. But yeah, certainly we'll look at some opportunity to address some of the traffic and forecast the traffic with all the additional developments that are forthcoming. And also with regards to the signage in front of the campus, yes, definitely. I know it's important. Curb appeal and identity is important to the board, and particularly Dr. Miranda. And so we'll definitely provide some options for the board to consider in the future.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rodan.
Yeah, I'll jump on the Cedar access, because that's where we just kind of left off. It's interesting. This is new addition, and certainly understand the desire to alleviate the traffic pressure. You know, Cedar is an interesting road in that it's half road, half highway. The fact that it's going to be uncontrolled, so there won't be any kind of signal. So as you're traveling north, turning right into the school, I mean, anybody that's been on Cedar will tell you, you're doing like 60 miles an hour for the most part. So there's no dedicated turning lane. So if I'm in that right lane and I need to turn, I'm going to be obviously slowing down, and cars behind me may or may not. It's interesting to see that sudden of a turn, uncontrolled turn on a highway. It feels like a highway sometimes, on a road where there's a lot of traffic going at high speeds. Presumably, there won't be a lot of queuing because this is a long stretch, right? Is that the idea? Because if you have queuing that backs into Cedar, then we're really in trouble because you're taking an entire lane. There's only 2 lanes on Cedar in each direction. So have we looked at queuing, and do we think there'll be any issues with queuing?
Yeah, I think part of the advantage of creating a roadway to Cedar is that we're utilizing about 600 feet for queuing. And also in terms of from turning lane, that's part of the things we're looking at. The county may require us to create another turning lane prior to reaching the driveway approach.
So we haven't received necessarily all the comments from the county on that. Because again, traveling north at high speed and trying to turn quickly to the right would be a concern. So the other concern I have is not necessarily traffic related, but what a road would mean in terms of maintenance and operation. Is this road going to be gated in and closed after hours? Is that the plan?
Yeah, certainly. We haven't figured out the exact location yet, but we do want to have some type of control in terms of perimeter. But that could be one option as well. And part of another kind of equation to this is, we're exploring some of the opportunity that we have with some of the residual property. So there may be some combination of, if we're able to get some residential development, we could kind of work with that development together to create kind of a secure boundary, not only for that development, but also for the campus as well.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be, I wouldn't say it's an option. We have to. So what you'll end up with is a 600-foot road behind, the pilot has a wall, right? So you have 600 feet of paved road hidden behind a wall that is perfectly inviting. I'm in the homeless industry. That's a great place for me to park my car overnight, my RV, my truck, because I'm hidden from the back. I'm 600 feet from the road. I'm hidden by the block wall, and I'm tucked against the field. Line it up. That's perfect. That's a perfect place for me to park overnight if I'm homeless. And that's not a question. I will put $100 on the table. That's exactly what will happen if we don't control that space. We struggle already with homelessness. In fact, ironically, at Zimmerman, the current Zimmerman site, we struggle with homelessness. And it's particularly an issue in Bloomington where we don't have a lot of law enforcement presence and other activities. So, and again, I'm an advocate for the homeless. I'm not saying that they don't need a place to stay, but that's going to be an issue and a challenge. I mean, I'm intrigued by Board Member Fuentes' thought of what would it look like to flip, because Larch is a very different kind of street than Cedar, obviously, and that what would that look like? Obviously, we require some changes in design, but I know in the CEQA process, we're oftentimes, well, not often, we are required to have alternatives. I don't know how much more that would add to the expense to study that, but I think there's something to be said for creating that access off of Larch as opposed to Cedar. Cedar is predominantly commercial and industrial, and while I definitely want kids to have access, I am concerned about the traffic and unintended consequences. So, and then we'll be responsible for maintaining that stretch of road, obviously, and what it could mean. So, if you build it, they will come. I guarantee you on that front. The other question I had, and what's interesting, and I think in some ways I agree with the concerns that Board Member Howard has raised, because this is new to us. I'm trying to think of another elementary campus in our entire district that has sort of this internal design, right? So if I'm looking at this correctly, the entrances to the classrooms are going to be on the interior where there's corridors and hallways, windows to the exterior. That's correct, right? Okay. With the exception of like Grand Terrace High School, it has some element of that. I'm not sure we have that in the district where our schools were designed at the time when all the doors faced outside, and when you stepped out of the classroom, you were outside. This is unique, and I'm not sure. I'd be interested in seeing what people would think about a design where your kids have other spaces internally that you might be able to do things with. Again, I don't know. We don't have this. Not a lot of schools in California are designed like this. You go back east or certain parts of Los Angeles that are much older, where they have this sort of internal design. My wife grew up in Winchester, Massachusetts, just outside Boston. She thought it was nuts when our kids would step out of their classroom and be outside. Schools were built internally. So it's going to be different. So I'm curious to see how we'll be able to make that work, and it could be a really cool. It has almost a community college or college campus feel in that regard if you can make those spaces work. But I'll echo what Board Member Fuentes said, is that I like the internal design of the interior of it all, but there needs to be some monument signage or something to indicate to the community along Larch and probably Santa Ana that this is Zimmerman Elementary School, because it is, unless you're driving into the parking lot, usually that admin is the marquee sign and the frontage of the school. You're just not going to see it from Santa Ana or Larch. So if there's ways to put some monument signage so that we can show that pride, if you will.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. In terms of the collaborative spaces, I will tell you, as we prepare kids not just for the 21st century, 22nd century, we know that collaboration, teamwork is a requirement. So those spaces they're not classrooms. Classrooms are classrooms. We have classrooms for every grade level or every class. The design of those collaborative spaces, in perhaps the board would have to, maybe a field trip to go see how that works. Because I think we can talk about it, but without saying it, as a former teacher, middle school and elementary, if I had those collaborative spaces to go do a lot of projects, a lot of project-based learning, you get stuck in your classroom, and at some point, teachers, students need a change of space, and you can't be just stuck in there, and so that just provides an opportunity. But let me just be clear: those spaces are going to be spaces anyhow. So why not take advantage of the opportunity to be able to go out there and sit out there with your students, do a fun activity, and then get back in the classroom? We want to develop, the collaboration. It's big in our district today, and that's not just the future, but that is where we're at today. So I think instructionally, when you talk about the curriculum, we got to get away from the 1830s style of education in rows That just doesn't work with our students. That's the Jeffersonian model that we're aware. We are trying to change that in our district, and this is an opportunity, first school that we're trying to build in, I forget how many, 20 years or so, or, well, Grant Terrace 12 years ago. But, so that's why Grant Terrace, you see the 12 years ago, it's a very, you see that. But we hear loud and clear, but I just wanted to throw that out there because we've had numerous conversations about that, but I understand that we had one opportunity to do this right, do best interests for our future students, because this school is going to be around for the next 60, 100 years. And so, we got to design it for the future, not for the past or present.
Can I just, on your offer of seeing, I would love to, because this is different, and different is good. I think we should be bold and willing to take some steps forward. Makes perfect sense in a high school setting and even a middle school setting. This would be different for elementary. I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I'd love to see it because it's so different than what even I'm used to seeing. And again, the schools that we go to, that I went to, that my kids go to, are those old 1960s schools where it's rows of classrooms and everybody door just opens to the outside, and and it just there's not a lot of character there. You're right. There's not a lot of collaboration. So are there school sites that we can go to see that at an elementary level? It's got to be an elementary level that have something like this.
Yeah, if you guys want to take a tour, that would totally make my day.
Absolutely, yeah.
Most elementary schools that we design now have interior circulation like this. For a number of different reasons. I mean, it's getting warmer and indoor spaces are easier to shelter. So ironically, if we're limiting the amount of exterior envelope, it's easier to condition the spaces by having these internal circulations. It's more secure. You can actually secure the building more easily. And then you have the opportunity of leveraging these interior spaces specifically for collaboration like this. So I think the other layer that's really important to mention for your campus is we have air quality concerns. So if we give all of those classrooms direct exterior access, we're giving ourselves an unnecessary challenge. Whereas by creating interior spaces for learning, even if you have the worst air quality day possible, you've got tons of filtration that the mechanical systems are going to provide, and you have safe spaces for your students to learn in. So it makes a lot of sense to apply for your campus specifically, but yes, we have lots of schools in the area that are elementary with internal circulation and collaboration we could take you to.
It would be great to see, because you're right about that point. Well, you go on any of our campuses, and what you'll see is those doors will also all be open, because it's the only way the teachers can keep an eye on kind of what's going on. So, right, doors are open, air conditioning's being blown out, stuff's coming in and out. So this is a way to keep things in a controlled environment. So anyway, I'd love if we could coordinate a tour, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you. Pat?
Just real quick, I remember, and Board Member Fuentes and Flores brought up a good point. When we started this process long ago, and there were like preliminary sketches, and this is what, like really very preliminary, those sketches did have the entrance to the school on Larch. And we liked that idea because of the fact that it wasn't as busy as Cedar. So, I agree with you guys completely. I started thinking about it. Yeah, I remember those sketches. And my other comment, just that I thought of after I spoke earlier, was that I think that this presentation needs to be presented to the teachers at Zimmerman Elementary and get their feedback. Because I know you said you've shown it to the principal, and that's wonderful, but she has, maybe at a staff meeting, you could show this to them, because, to get their opinion. They're the ones who are going to teach there. We promised them that they would all move when the school moved, and they would stay together if they so choose. And this is going to be their domain, and they need to see it. And just showing it to the principal, and she's trying to explain to them, that's not the same for them to see it. So I would like to see if we could have them do that and let them see the possibilities, and let them give us their opinion of it. Because, I mean, we're not going to be teaching in there. We don't, none of us, well, except for Bertha, we're teachers, so we don't know, but they know. So I think that they should get a chance to see that presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Bertha?
Yeah, I think a tour is a great idea. For us, but more importantly for teachers and community members, especially the ones that came and spent a lot of time when we wanted their feedback. A couple years ago now. So I would love to see that the community is more involved, and also I agree with my colleagues that this should be shared with the community and get their feedback.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'll
And,
just mention something that I believe, just to be clear, it has been shared through the process. Just to be clear. So it's been shared to the staff and principal, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we have done a presentation to all the staff, and we do have additional meetings scheduled. So these are just the conclusion of the schematic design process. So as we continue to go through design development and construction documents, there's a whole host of meetings that we still have to have with the staff.
For our staff, will there be exclusive parking for them too? An area, even in the parking lot area, or because we probably have, what, 30 in staff, 40 in staff?
Yes, actually, CDE, California Department of Education, has a requirement in terms of number of parking spaces that we have to allocate for staff. So a portion of the appropriate portion of number of stalls will be dedicated for staff.
Awesome. Thank you.
Very good. As an educator myself for over 30 years, I find the design really interesting. Obviously, it's a little different than what we've been accustomed to. But I'm thinking of it as elementary. First of all, my question, the classrooms. Now, we average anywhere, depending on grade level, 24 to 30 students per classroom. Will these classrooms accommodate those numbers? Number one, because as I was taking a look at the picture, counted the chairs, far cry from that. I know it's only a picture, but I want to make sure that, number one, our teachers are comfortable, the students are comfortable, and that we have adequate space in each classroom. And that's important. Number two, talking about the open spaces, I did hear you say earlier that you did run this by the staff, the teaching staff, and so they're familiar and aware of what you're proposing to us today. So, with very little comments, negative comments, that's what you mentioned. So that's a good thing, because we want to make sure, just like my colleague said, that our instructors, our teachers, are comfortable with what we design and that they're able to work in this environment. Now, with the open spaces, I've never taught elementary, taught middle school, I've taught high school, I've taught college, so I've taught several areas. But, my mind is wrapping around these open areas with a teacher of 30 students, and then on one side and just on the other side, 30 more students. So I have to see how that works. Not that teachers don't have great discipline and classroom control, but we're talking about third graders, fourth graders, second graders, sixth graders, and the numbers that will be in each class. So I guess my point is that we need to make sure that whatever we design accommodates the numbers comfortably, because as I've been through as a board member, taking a look at class sizes throughout all the schools that we built 100 years ago, a lot of them are not accommodating to our students and instructors. So I just want to make sure that it reflects that, we understand that, we're able to make sure that, oh, shoot, you know, we built something and only 24 seats go in here. You know, that's not what we want to see. And we want to make sure that, and of course, we leave those numbers to our superintendent and his staff. So we just want to make sure that, you know, everything falls suit in that. I like the kindergarten. I like your idea for the special ed, but also incorporating them. We need to highlight that school. The idea that my colleagues brought in as far as additional signage, very important. But also the traffic, you know, so we need to really, really take a look at that because that could be problemsome big time. So with all that said, I just want to say if there's no other questions from anybody, comments our superintendent wants to make.
I'll make two comments here. And you're familiar with this, Mr. Ibarra, over San Bernardino City Unified has a lot of collaborative spaces, middle school, elementaries. I've worked at many of them. And it really depends on several factors. I mean, NPR rooms. In fact, Ramon Alessandro has the NPR, and there's a lot of classrooms there. So it's all, you know, and teachers do a pretty good job with that. That's one point. The other one is, just to be clear, that this presentation that the board is getting today has not been shared with staff yet, has not gone over with the teachers. What's gone is previous renditions or and definitely conversations with the principal. I want to be crystal clear about that, but not this presentation. So if the board's direction is this presentation, where we're at, let's go to staff. That they just want to make sure we get an understanding of that. And then we set up number 2, a visit to see these collaborative spaces. And then 3 is that the board's asking to ensure that we look at the traffic and we look at how it looks if we flip the entry on the other side. Is that?
That's what we originally had
Okay.
discussed. Yes.
All right, okay. So I just want to make sure that, that we can go back to, that's why we have incredible architects and director of facilities to capture this. But I want to make sure we capture this so that we can go back and discuss this and come back to report to the board where we're at. So the good news is that we're definitely making some great progress here. And the board's input, recommendations are not only necessary, but vital to the success of this project. And we're excited about what's going to happen over there. So, thank you, Board President.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any other comments or?
Well, just on the classroom size, I don't actually have much control over that because that's dictated by the state, but it is sized as a standard classroom about 980 square feet. It's a requirement of Title V, and it is plenty of space for your students.
Okay, then yeah, that's what I want to hear.
If I may elaborate, for standard classroom, like Brian said, state has a standard that we have to adhere to, and for special ed and kinder and TK, the rooms are even larger. They're 1,350 square feet. So those are the minimum standard that we have to adhere to in the designing of the special ed STC classrooms as well as TK and kinder classrooms.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Okay, with that, if there's no other questions from any members of the board, thank you very much, gentlemen, and we'll move on. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to 7.4, which is our ACE update. I'd like to invite ACE President, Mrs. Parachi, to the podium, please.
Good evening, esteemed board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, Cabinet, and members of the audience. My name is Christina Parachi, and I have the privilege to serve as the Association of Colton Educators President. First and foremost, I would like to touch on a matter of great importance to our association and the wider community, the upcoming elections. ACE has officially endorsed the incumbent members of the school board. The decision was made because we believe in continuity and stability. This decision, we recognize the hard work, dedication, and passion, and we want to continue under your leadership. We trust that if re-elected, you will continue to champion the causes that matter most to our students, our staff, and our community. On a lighter note, I am delighted to officially invite you to ACE CSEA MAC Fall Barbecue. We don't have an official name yet. We couldn't agree. You have ACE CSEA and MAC in the same room trying to agree to a name. This year, it will be held at Joe Baca Middle School on Saturday, October 5th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We do understand that we don't want a quorum there, so probably stagger your attendance, board members. We are inviting the executive cabinet also and all the directors and principals. The principals are going to be invited by Yvette. I mean, we're inviting too, but she'll make an official. Your presence would mean a great deal to our members, highlighting the collaborative spirit we strive to maintain within our district, and in light of election, the bond, that's one of our thing in our mind. We hope you'll join us, and thank you, and good night.
CSEA. Thank you very much. Mac? Okay, thank you. ROP, we did have a meeting yesterday. Pat?
Yes, and I have some wonderful stuff to share about ROP today. So we got a lot of end of year reports for last year. And we have, first of all, I want to talk about Bloomington High School and their VET program. We have 5 students from Bloomington High School's VET program were accepted to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo to their VET program from Bloomington High School. So that is pretty cool. That is so cool. I also want to share that we have our CJUSD Nurse Assistant Certified High School After School Program. We have 15 students who completed their class and passed their state licensure. 15 of these students, both sections of the test, passed with 100% on their tests. So I think that is amazing what our kids are doing. And then we have National Night Out was last week, and we had people, we had our superintendent from CRIROP as well as other members of CRIROP staff who were at both National Nights Out in Colton and in Bloomington. And in Bloomington, Cindy Gourlay, who is our criminal justice teacher, she happened to run into a former student of hers. And he is now with the Sheriff's Department for San Bernardino. And he owes it, and he was just really happy to see her. So that's pretty cool. And then we have total for CRIROP, we had 80 of our auto tech students earn state pre-apprenticeship, say that word, apprenticeship certificates that connected them with free community and college opportunities at Valley College. And of those 80 students for CRIROP, 35 came from Colton. So they got free college books, everything. So it is so exciting to hear all the wonderful things that are happening, and this end of the year numbers that we got. It's so exciting. So we just on another note, just we had 794 students total in CRIROP completed ROP courses and earned their certificates for finishing all of their classes. So we had some really great things to celebrate yesterday. So I wanted to share that.
Thank you, Pat. Israel, anything you'd like to share?
No comments from the foundation. Just a reminder of the date, and I forgot the date I had in my mind. But I'll be posting that online and for the upcoming Evening of Excellence for the Cry Rob Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm just going to mention one last thing. CRIROP has been working diligently to create an aviation program. The aviation program is getting off the ground. They have over 20 industry experts that met with them at the San Bernardino International Airport to help support this program. Now, because there's an airport available in Redlands, Redlands got first dibs on it. But knowing me and my colleagues, we're going to try to bring that aviation program to Cone Joint Unified School District, to one of our schools. So it will allow individuals to know the mechanics of airplanes. They're even bringing in an airplane for them to build. And it can, yes, dovetail into possibly becoming pilots. So it's a great opportunity. I want to see that opportunity being brought here to our district. So just want to mention that as well. So with that, thank you very much for the ROP. And we will go right into our superintendent communique.
Yes, thank you, Board President. Good evening, everybody. Hopefully you guys are still awake out there. All right. Online, virtually, it's an honor to be here. I wanted to start off with esports, electronic sports. I had to look it up. What's that E for? But it's electronic, right? So, it's huge. So we're thrilled to announce our first ever CJUSD esports kickoff tournament for students happening this Saturday, August 17th at 9 a.m. right here in the Professional Learning Center. This is an exciting event, has already attracted over 220 registered students with 64 eager players ready to compete in this tournament. The remaining students will be either on a wait list or enjoy access to the free gameplay area. So our goal is to raise awareness of the growing esports clubs across our school sites. We have them all over our school sites, and to develop a unified program district-wide. Elementary and middle school students will showcase their skills in Super Smash Brothers, right? Or Bros, right? In Mario Kart, two beloved games that are sure to spark huge excitement. A big shout out to our awesome IT director back there, Jamal Boyce, and our ACES manager, Ron Perez, for leading the charge on this event. It promised to be a fantastic, family-friendly day open to all CJUSD students at no cost. We look forward to seeing you there. I remember just trying to get a quarter to go play Pac-Man or, something like that, right? Was difficult. Oh, kids know it now. Come on. They're back in the 80s. The kids are back. They know more of our terms. Okay, let me move on to Zimmerman recognition here. So we're incredibly proud of our Zimmerman Elementary Jaguars. They recently were recognized by Educational Consulting Services, known as ECS, for its outstanding attendance recovery program. This innovative program offers students a second chance to make up for missed instructional time, whether due to excused or unexcused absences. It's a game changer, really, for our students who need not only extra support, allowing them to catch up on homework, improve their grades, and receive valuable tutoring. Zimmerman Elementary has been named the top-performing elementary school in the state for ECS Academics Attendance Recovery Program for the 2023-24 school year. With 14 sessions hosted, over 1,000 students participating. The program has made a significant impact on addressing chronic absenteeism. A huge congratulations goes out to Principal Nunez Varias and her dedicated staff for their exceptional work. Way to go, Zimmerman Elementary. We're really proud of you. Last one I have for tonight is back to school nights. If you guys haven't noticed, students are back. Right? So the 24-25 school year is off to a great start. Our back to school night across the districts have been nothing short of heartwarming. Along with the executive cabinet and the board members, I've been and had the privilege of attending several of these events, meeting the wonderful staff and parents who make up our community, and they make it extremely special. So honestly, it's very inspiring as a superintendent to see the strong turnout from our CJUSD families, and I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone, families and staff alike, for making these nights such a success. Your presence and support set a positive tone for the year ahead, and as remember, board president earlier talked about family and parents being involved, and then that's a difference maker. So I really appreciate it. We welcome you to our site. So we're off to a great start, I believe. So welcome back again. And with that, board president, that is my communique this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Miranda. One of the things that I'd like to see is that we need to recognize Zimmerman for this excellent award. And if we can provide them with some kind of district board recognition to recognize them, and maybe at the next board meeting present it and highlight, because when we get a school or any school that gets recognized like that, you know, from outside entity, I mean, we need to also acknowledge that. So I think that's something that would be nice for us to do.
We will make it happen.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Board member comments. I'll start off with Bernice. No comment. Okay. Bertha?
Yes, I'd like to start with last semester, we started high dosage tutoring, and I think we had it at a few schools. Staff provided us with an update on that, and it seems like it was very successful. It seems like it's something that that was very, very helpful to our students. In one assessment, students doubled their growth in correct letter sounds and whole words that they knew. So I just want to say, that this is a great program. I think we should continue it. I believe it was 212 students that attended, and I'm sure it is going to continue, correct, to include more schools. Okay, and the other comment I had, it deals with early literacy. And the professional development that we've offered for our teachers and letters. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Hyder and Amy Kowalski for providing us with a letters update of what has been happening these last couple of years, and then looking in the future. So I'm just very, very excited about the number of teachers that are being trained in this program. I mean, it's not just a one-shot deal. I think it includes 8 days of training, and and plus they have countless hours of independent work that they do, and so it's paying off. And it's benefiting our students. I think this year we're continuing the training, including I don't have that right here. 40 more teachers, and no, actually 40 teachers throughout the district, 30 teachers at Bernie, Lewis, and Rogers, and 33 teachers from Grimes, Terrace View, and Zimmerman. So I'd like to continue this momentum and provide staff development. And the beauty of this is that the teachers, every teacher I've talked to, loves the program, loves the instructional strategies that they're learning. So that's a very important piece. And the last thing I want to say is the the importance of classroom libraries. We have allocated a lot of funds to our elementary sites to have books available for our kids in their classroom. So, I think we need to showcase our classroom libraries, and I know when I visit classrooms, that's what I gravitate to. And because it's so important that not only we're teaching our kids the reading skills, but also we're providing them with books that they can read and enjoy, so that they can be lovers of reading and love books. So with that, thank you.
Thank you. Pat.
Well, I have a short board member comments this evening. First of all, I want to apologize to our principals and staff for back to school night because we are down to one vehicle in the Haro household, and so my husband has been taking my car to work and leaving me stranded. And I thank Board Member Fuentes, because he's been my chauffeur for certain for conferences and to get around and getting to the meeting and stuff. So I apologize. Hopefully we're going to get it fixed out soon. So I want to apologize if you haven't seen me at your sites. I want to also, I wanted to see if there was a way that the district, I noticed that this year, and I'm hearing it and I'm seeing it on social media, we have quite a few staff who didn't start the beginning of the year due to illness. And some are very sick. And I was wondering if, I don't know if we've ever done it before, but teachers, whoever it is, if we could send a note to them, a card, something from the board saying that, that we are there for them or whatever it is, just something to show them that we care. Not just when they're in the classroom, but we care about them when they're home ill. Because from what I understand, some are facing some pretty sad illnesses, and I would think it would be really nice to send a little something out to them. And the only other thing I have is my quote for tonight, since it's the beginning of the school year, and it's by Carlos Santana. "There is no greater reward than working from your heart and making a difference in the world." It's a very powerful statement. And I think in education, you can't make any greater difference than that. You are changing the world because you are training these students and teaching these students just to be the best they can be. So I just want to thank all of our staff for everything they do. So thank you.
Thank you, Pat. And thank you for bringing up the Get Well card idea. I think that'd be a nice touch just to let everybody know that we're thinking of them, and we hope that we could see them soon back. Okay, Israel.
Thank you, Board President. So open back to school nights, I've had the opportunity to attend some of them with Dr. Miranda, Ms. Bertha, and Mr. Ibarra. And they've been some awesome, awesome nights. Get to see the parents, get to see the kids all nervous, especially the ones that are going 7th grade, or the students going into freshman year, or even the first graders that are just walking into the classroom and they're kind of nervous still. But it's great to see the parents, see all the familias out there, excited about their student heading to that new challenge, that new chapter in their lives. And like my daughter just started college on Monday, and that was, it was a little scary for her. She's like, "Dad, are you gonna stay?" "No, I'm not staying, baby. You're 18 years old now. It's your turn. It's your chapter now. And so it's all up to you now. We're going to be here to support you and all of that, but it's your responsibility now. Ya tienes 18 años. You're 18 years old now." So she started college on Monday, and to all the college students, all of our former seniors that are now in college, congratulations. And hopefully you'll return to our district once you get your degree and become one of our teachers or whatever we have available in our district. So congratulations, and thank you to all the open houses for inviting us in to see all the students, the parents, and all of that. Also, we had the opportunity to have a personal tour of the University of Science and Medicine, or CalMed as they call it. And I was there for the beginning, and it was amazing to hear the Dean of Schools, Joel, and Dr. DJ, I think it was one of the doctors that was there. He called himself DJ, Dr. DJ, and just to hear the conversation about the opportunities our students have to be able to go to that school, to become medical doctors, and they're looking at bringing in nursing programs, pharmaceutical, any other type of medical field related items to that university, because that's what it's called. It is an actual school. And I also had the opportunity to go to their open house the other day. And they had about 50 students, a little more than that, I think. And the students got to tour, got to ask questions with the doctors, got to tour the whole campus there. And then they had this great lunch. They had these wonderful lunch trucks out there. I think they had like a burrito truck and a hamburger and fries truck. And you can bet on which one was the winner. And it was the hamburgers. And so it was fun to see the students very engaged, asking the questions with the doctors, with the staff there. And it's just amazing, you know, that some of these students are so interested in becoming those doctors, those nurses, those pharmaceutical, those therapists in the medical field, because now the medical field is a big thing. And we need nurses, we need doctors, we need all of that. And that's an opportunity for our students to succeed in that. And we've seen it with our medical at Grand Terrace High, the medical at Colton High, where these students come out certified as CNAs and paramedics and all of that. And we see that success through our CTE program, our pathways. And it's just wonderful to be able to see those students so engaged. So I had an opportunity to hang out for about an hour. I was a little late, but it was great. I started asking some questions, and some of them, I'm thinking about being a doctor. I'm thinking about being this, you know, in the medical. And so it was very interesting, the questions and answers I was getting from some of the students. And then during their lunchtime, they had a little bit of performances from some of our native friends. They had some dances out there, and that was pretty cool too, to see them dance and some of the typical clothing that they wear and the meaning to their clothing. So that was fun. So just wanted to end today. Welcome back, everybody. I know everyone's back already in the classroom working hard. Have a great year. It's all about the kids. We all know that. Our success is about the kids. And giving them those opportunities, opening those doors for them, giving them the love that they need. Because as you saw today with the ambassadors that were here today, those kids are amazing. Those kids are amazing. My colleagues and I, when we went to go do that video, just to see that they were rapping, they didn't care. They were ready to move on there and do anything possible to succeed and to be those leaders. So thank you to Cooley Ranch, Ms. Nina, the staff out there at Cooley Ranch. Thank you, and thank you for this opportunity every evening to be able to share. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Israel. Dan.
Thank you. Nothing formal to report, but I did want to thank folks for the impromptu conversation about our special education programs in the district. That is a population and a program that is certainly near and dear to my heart, and I think all of us, it's certainly something we should be talking about more. We do a lot for our special education population. We provide services that many districts necessarily do not provide in-house. We do, including our mod to severe population. Many of us know about the TOPS program at Colton High, which is incredible. So we do a lot. Can we do more? Absolutely. Something that we should continue to talk about. In fact, we should probably have a presentation every year, at least once a year at this board, to talk and dive into our special education services. But I'd be remiss if I didn't also say this, because it was something that was sort of stirring, and that's this idea that all disabilities are visible. That just because you don't see somebody that has a presenting disability, so mobility device, whether it's a wheelchair, crutches, whatever it might be, that there aren't folks in the room or in the classroom or in this room that may have a disability or some challenge. And I'm again, in my day job, I work with individuals that have diagnosed mental illness, substance use disorders, and a variety of disabilities that you wouldn't necessarily see by looking at them. And I just think that's important that we keep that in mind, that that community of individuals that have challenges as diverse as all of us, and just let's not assume that all of disabilities or all challenges or all of our students within our special education population look a particular way. We have many students that have auditory processing, delayed speech. These are things that you're not going to see by looking at them necessarily. And so let's not make assumptions. And if we're doing our job, we're integrating our students into the classroom with others, right? It's the least restrictive environment. That's the goal. So in many ways, if you look into a classroom and you think to yourself, well, I don't see anybody with a disability, number one, that may not be true, but number two, that's also kind of the point, is we don't necessarily want to make them feel like they've got, you know, a label on them. So it's a balancing act, I know, but I do appreciate the conversation, and I don't want the parents to feel like that it's not something that's a priority for us. It certainly is, but we can do more, and we should discuss it more. But I feel like sharing that because I have friends and family members who, again, you wouldn't necessarily know by looking at them, but we don't want to stereotype, and that's important that we keep that in mind. So thank you.
Thank you a lot, Dan. And very good points on that special education, because I know that many of us actually started, like I did, as a special education teacher back in the day. So, yeah, important population for us to recognize, maybe highlight if we get opportunities, appropriate opportunities to do so, and make them part of what we celebrate on a regular basis. It's interesting because I just finished a course that my employer put me through, and at the end of the course, I was certified as a mental health wellness counselor certification. So I was one of the ones that they chose, that because of my background, my experience. A lot of you don't know I worked behavioral health for several years. And so it was interesting because a lot of what Dan said was what the presenter said, a lot of the same things. So just brought that to my mind. Just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to Joe Baca Middle School particular, because I did get a chance to go to their open house, take a walk around, talk to staff, talk to the teachers. One of the things that I got in a lot of conversation about, and I could thank Dr. Miranda for that, is the fact that a lot of them wanted to talk about the speech I gave in the, the swing, that swing for success thing. So they were very, got some feedback of what they thought. But also, one of the nice things about that is I got a chance to celebrate a little bit with my goddaughter, who is a first-time teacher there at Joe Baca, a Cone High School graduate. And so I was very, very excited and pleased to see her there. And so I had to take a picture with her and so forth. But it's good to see people who graduate from our district come back to our district to serve and provide their skills and abilities to our students. So that's wonderful, as many of you have done as well, I'm sure. So with that, try to get you home before 8:30. It's 8:12. Yeah, maybe get some dinner. So at 8:12, at this time, the Board of Education will go into closed session to discuss items listed on the closed session agenda. Thank you for everybody for being here. student readmission presented in closed session in accordance with California Education Code 48916. An expulsion order shall remain in effect until the governing board in a manner describes in this article orders the readmission of a pupil. The one student has been expelled from Adelanto Elementary School District for a violation of California Education Code 48900 or 48915. The student case was reviewed by an administrator in the Department of Student Services, and upon review has completed the plan of rehabilitation and is eligible for readmission. Is there a motion to approve the readmission of the student as presented? So we're looking for a motion at this time.
I'll
Make a
move that.
motion.
Oh, I'll second that.
Okay, so I have, I believe, Bertha Flores and Israel Fuentes. So on a motion by Bertha Flores and second by Board Member Israel Fuentes to approve readmission of one student who have met the plan of rehabilitation as directed by the board and is eligible for readmission. All those in favor indicate by stating aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? 6-0. The board approves the readmission of one student who has met the plan of rehabilitation, and it states new student. 11.2. On a motion by Board Member Bertha Flores and second by Israel Fuentes and carried on a 6-0 vote, the board approved the following. Personnel public employee, certificated coaches 5, head junior varsity soccer boys, head varsity soccer boys, head varsity soccer girls, head varsity softball girls, head varsity track co-ed, certificate regular staff, adaptable PE teacher, special ed education teacher 2, teachers, I would believe 7. Classified coaching 7, basketball assistant boys, head junior varsity wrestling boys, head varsity basketball boys, head varsity basketball girls, head varsity football spring boys, head varsity soccer boys, and head varsity wrestling boys. Volunteer coaching 5, band, co-ed, football boys 3, volleyball girls. Volunteer 2, field work placement. Okay. And one more, 11.3. In closed session, on a motion by Board Member Israel Fuentes and second by Bernice Sandoval, and on a 6-0 vote, the board appointed the following: Stephanie Rigueros Catalan, elementary assistant principal. And with that, if there's no comments, we are adjourned at 8:41.